Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the college football show for week 13. It's the closing lines. And goodness gracious, I hope you are all filled up on turkey and whatever else is left over from Thanksgiving feasts, all that good stuff. And if you're not in the United States, I know it ain't Thanksgiving for y'all right now, but that's all right. That's all right. You can still eat turkey and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and all that other fine stuff. Chris, y'all didn't eat turkey, right? What'd you end up doing?
Well, other people in my family did. I just didn't. So my aunt, my very Italian aunt, made homemade ravioli, which I love, and ate. My mom made cornbread dressing, which is the only way to eat and make dressing, and all the other stuffings and dressings are trash compared to it. And yeah, we had a big Thanksgiving.
Same here. We did a low country boil, and it was fascinating. It was so good. I mean, the heat off them shrimp and the potatoes and the corn on the cob and everything. It was fascinating. Just so wonderful. So wonderful. All right. Enough about the Thanksgiving stuff. We know y'all are ready to talk football. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First things first, go to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. We got deep dives on all the games over there, big games, smaller games, etc. Go check it out. Really the best crew in the world. They deep dive all this stuff. They've got all the information that you need to be able to make some really good picks. Go over and like the video that you're seeing right now. It's that little thumbs up button right there. You see it. You see what it looks like. So go ahead and do the thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be here all year. We here all year, baby. We ain't going nowhere. That's right. Hit subscribe. Make sure that you dive in with us every single time we do this. We got Monday opening lines, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We do our picks and our deep dives. And then today, Saturday, every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, we do our closing lines. So go ahead, jump in with your comments. I see a lot of guys already jumping in. Heath Harrelson, Mac Dooley, Francisco's in here, Hank Q, all sorts of guys are in here. So go ahead and dive in. Let us know your picks for the day. We're curious where your edge is, what you're seeing, etc. Do our Pick 6 contest. sbrpicks.com/pick6. That's PICK and the number 6. You can pick NFL games and college games against the spread or against the number, whichever way. Go over there. It's free, and you can win your share of cash prizes. Very easy to do. And we're not going to get to every game today. That's just a guarantee. There's so many games. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And let's dive into what has happened over the last couple of days, right? So we had Thursday night football. Our Colorado State game got canceled due to COVID issues, and there's been a ton of cancellations. We're not going to go over all the cancellations this week. Let's talk about what happened yesterday just a teensy bit. Tom Herman committed coaching malpractice yesterday, Chris. That was the single worst coaching job I have seen of any staff so far this season. And I know
that's hyperbole. That's ridiculous.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Worst coach.
You picked the wrong side, Gary. You picked the wrong side.
That mean that he didn't know what he was doing. He did not know what he was doing in that ball game. It was a travesty. It was a tragedy. It was awful. It was putrid, and he deserves to be left outside the football program, outside the football facilities without a key to be able to get back in. They need to go hire somebody else. I don't care who it is, but almost anybody at this point could do a better job than what they did yesterday, because that was just stupid. There were so many instances where it looked like he was trying to lose the game. And that kind of stuff just doesn't sit well with me. Notre Dame's defense looked absolutely fantastic. You called that one. You were dead on with it. Holding North Carolina to 17 points, shutting them out in the second half.
Didn't score in the second half, man. You know who that looks like? That looks like Northwestern. I'm going to tell you, Northwestern and Notre Dame, the two best defenses in the country, and I don't think third place is close.
I think you might be right.
I think there is a chasm between those two teams and everyone else.
Yeah, no, I do agree. That was a dominant performance. Hey, cheers to that, because I think that sets them up insanely well, because I think they're going to get the Wake Forest win. After that, it doesn't matter really what you do against Clemson, right? So I think
in the world, but they don't need to get blown out. They need to keep it close. But I think with that defense, I don't think anybody's going to have the ability to blow them out.
I agree. Oregon State last night, that was an impressive win over Oregon. So the Pac-12, that does not hurt your chances, or does not help your chances. I'll say that. But Oregon State looked good. That was a good win. The Pac-12 officiating, it ain't just the Big Ten. It ain't just the SEC.
No,
it's just college football officiating.
No, nobody has a patent on terrible football.
You have got that right. Ohio State, their game is canceled today. That means they have lost 2 games at the most. Before the Big Ten championship game, they will play 6 games. That is not good. That is definitely not good.
I'm telling you right now, just listen to me, Gary. Michigan's going to come down with the Rona. Michigan's coming down with the 19, and they are taking Ohio State out of the Big Ten championship, and they are maybe taking them out of the playoff.
So that's the question.
That is Harbaugh's way of taking this team down.
That is the question that we will have to get figured out, because more than likely they will. I think that they will schedule Wisconsin and Ohio State
100%
that weekend. However, didn't the Big Ten set it up where it has to be rankings based on whatever
winning percent? It is winning percentage, but they also put the stipulation in that you have to play at least 6 games.
Okay, and then that point, because I'm not talking about the title game, I'm just talking about those rankings for the
rankings for the rest of it. They will be the second place team. They will be the second place team.
Okay, I can get down.
They will play the second place team in the West, whoever that will be when it's all said and done.
And more than likely, it will be Wisconsin. So if you do end up with a 6-0 Ohio State, I would imagine that they will get in even over a 9-0 Northwestern.
I don't know, man. You might be right. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll discuss it all as we go through. Have you got your Tuesday picks in front of you?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and knock yours out right quick. We'll roll through them.
Won Iowa State yesterday, lost Iowa, won Notre Dame. So I'm 2-1 going into today. I got LSU plus 14.5. I got Memphis minus 13. I got Northwestern minus 13.5. And I got Ole Miss minus 9.5.
Not bad. I am 0-4 on the weekday games. It is time for a bounce back. Holy geez, was yesterday awful for me. I had Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan over 59. That did not hit. I had Iowa minus 13. That did not hit. I had Texas, and I had New Mexico, neither of which hit for me. I could not cash any of them, but that is okay. Today I have Western Michigan minus 19.5. I'm not sure what that line has moved to right now, but Pitt plus 24 is what I had on Tuesday. San Jose State plus 12 against Boise State. Northwestern and Michigan State under 42.5. Pitt's team total over 14.5. And if you grabbed that one on Tuesday, it is all the way up to 17.5 today. So Michigan State's team total under 14.5. And I had Buffalo team total over 37. So those were our Tuesday picks. Let's go ahead and dive into the game. Bro Dibble's already asking. He said, why do you like Pitt, Gary? Because I think Kenny Pickett is going to be able to put up points. And I do think that Clemson has not played in a long time, but we'll get into that. That's one of our games. Let's discuss it later. All right. Moving into the noon slate here, we have got Penn State and Michigan, and this is the Trash Bowl. Goodness gracious. 2 teams that don't seem like they care a whole lot. However, maybe they care more than we think. Cade McNamara will be the starting quarterback for Michigan. Its rotation 181, 182. Opened Michigan minus 4 with a total of 59.5. It's on ABC, by the way. It is now down to Michigan minus 1 with a total of 56.5. So
could have got Michigan at a pick 'em yesterday.
Yes, you could have gotten that even earlier this morning.
Okay, by the time I saw it this morning, it was back up to minus 1.
Yeah, there's several spots where it's just kind of moving around a little bit. But it's for the most part, Michigan minus 1. So you got any thoughts here? I like what McNamara has done, but he hadn't started the game yet. I'm curious.
No, I like Michigan now. Listen, I've liked Michigan all year. Okay, so it's been bad. I haven't been good. I am biased. I don't know why I find John Harbaugh likable. I think it's because he pisses other people off, and we have that in common. I don't know. But I think Michigan's not a good football team, but they haven't quit. Like, they're still fighting hard in all these games. I watched Penn State, and Penn State looks like they've quit several times in several different games. I'll take the team that is still fighting.
Yeah, I can roll.
That's my only logic. That's why I don't think either one are good, and Penn State needs it, I guess, way more than Michigan needs it.
That line is bouncing back to about 1.5 now. It's still a pick 'em at Bet Online, but it's Michigan minus 1.5 in most spots now.
But I give me the team that has shown they're still fighting and they're still trying, because I've watched a lot of Penn State, man, and they don't look like they want to be there.
Yeah, that's the way they've had so many injuries, all this other stuff. It seems like they take a lot of plays off, and it's not just plays. It just seems like massive parts of game.
Now you think at some point in time they're going to stop. Like today, they're going to show up fired up for this game, right? Like you think that at some point, one of these weeks, they're going to show up and they're going to kick someone's butt. It could be today, but
possible.
They just haven't looked like they wanted to play football, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I am not betting this one at all. I ain't putting nothing on this game.
I do have a little on Michigan, but that's just I have every week. I don't know why. I just can't help myself. I see that maize and blue, and I see John on the sideline, and Jim on the sidelines, and I just think, today's going to be a good day, and it rarely is.
It rarely is. All right, let's move into the SEC. 163-164, Kentucky and Florida. Florida opened a 20.5-point favorite with a total of 57.5. It's on ESPN. It is now Florida minus 24 with a total of 61. It has gone up 4 points on the total, and it has gone up almost 4 points on the side. Okay, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that Kentucky got beat by 60 last week by Alabama.
Yes,
the other side of this is the fact that Kentucky is missing like 18 guys due to COVID protocol.
They're struggling, and they've struggled the last 3 to 4 weeks to put a full team together.
I don't know what to make of this. I think Florida should be able to handle this. However, I think Florida is still in survive and advance mode. There's not a ton of motivation for them to blow teams out at this point. They know where their ranking is. All they got to do is get to the SEC championship game and just beat Alabama, and you will be in the playoff.
That's right.
That's all they've got to look forward to, really. So there's no reason to beat all these teams and they could absolutely win by 28 or whatever. I'm not touching this one. I don't.
Somebody asked how many starters Kentucky missing. I think it's 8. Now, I don't know if it's 8 starters or not, because of college football, they don't really have to tell you who. Well, they don't. Not really. They don't have to tell you who they are. So you kind of don't know until the game starts. It was. I can't touch this game. I just can't, because there's a world where Florida beats them just like Bama beat them. I mean, that world exists, and if you're up big, now it's on Dan to, does he want to call the dogs off or not? And that's it. Is I don't see Kentucky being able to fight and hang in this game. So
they have been over the past however many years, right?
We have to throw historical numbers out this season.
Yeah,
trends, because of trends' sake, just haven't mattered.
Yes, agree. All right, moving on. Let's move into the Big Ten, and let's talk about everybody's darlings. That would be the Indiana Hoosiers hosting the Maryland Terrapins. 191-192 rotation numbers. Indiana opened a 14-point favorite with a total of 61. This is on ESPN2, by the way. Indiana is all the way down to an 11-point favorite with a total of 64. So the total has gone up. However, the spread itself has gone down. And I got to tell you, I love Maryland and I love Indiana. I love both of these teams. They're a lot of fun to watch. I'm worried about this. I told you on the opening line show that if this went over 14 points, that because it opened at 14 and then it went back down to like 13.5 almost immediately.
Yep.
Maryland has not played football in a while. And their offense is predicated a lot on timing and those quick throws and everybody being in sync together. And if you haven't played football together in 4 weeks at this point, that's tough, right? To be able to get it. And I don't know how much they've practiced. I don't know. And I remember what Maryland looked like in the first game against Northwestern. Now, Indiana's defense is not Northwestern level.
No, Jesus, no.
But that whole thing with, they came out and they had not really practiced much because they had gone through a ton of the COVID protocol stuff. They had separated the team out. They had not really practiced together and all that while they were getting ready for the season. And then they came out and looked like trash against Northwestern. That's what I'm worried about, right? So I'm not going to play this one. I do like Maryland. And if it were any other normal circumstance, then I would absolutely be all over this at double digits. But I don't know what I'm going to get from Maryland. If you want to start looking at team totals or whatever, Indiana's team total is around 38, Maryland's is around 27. I would go over on Indiana's because I don't think that Maryland has much of a defense at all. However, I also wonder about the emotional letdown for Indiana. Like, I just want them to be real. You feel the same way?
Yeah, that's all I want. So this is what's hard for me is normally I would probably be looking at Maryland right here. I want this Indiana story to be real. And so there's an emotional aspect. You know me, I don't do analytics, I don't do numbers, I do feels, I do gut, I do my head. And I want this Tom Allen Indiana football team to be something special. And if you get beat by Ohio State the way they got beat, and then turn around and lose or play just a super tight game with Maryland, this story starts to dwindle. And I want them to kind of come in and say, no, we're still Indiana, and we're going to beat up on this little upshot, startup team that's rebuilding here. They're not close to being Big Ten football yet, and just kind of keep them in that corner. But I think they're a lot better than they used to be. They're much more improved offensively, definitely. And I asked you before we started, I'll ask you here, the rust. I think the rust hurts defenses more than offenses. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but the reason I say that is because you and I first thought when this season started that, these teams haven't practiced really well. We think a lot of these games are going to be low scoring because we thought the lack of practice would hurt the offenses more than the defenses, and that just did not seem to be the case. Scoring was at an all-time record high. Every team was putting up tons of points, and it was just one of those things where now I'm taking a step back and saying, okay, these teams that haven't played for a while, I now have to think, I think their defense is going to be worse. I don't know that Maryland's defense can get worse.
You're telling the truth there. So what I told you before, it still holds true here. Like, it depends on which offense it is. If you have had practice time and all that, for an offense that is predicated on timing, then this hurts because they have not played together. They have not practiced together. That's what I worry about here. Typically, yes, it would be the defenses that the rust hurts more because you got to get everybody in sync on defense, knowing exactly what their job is, being able to work together and slide off of receivers and whatnot. But in this instance, it might hurt Maryland's offense more because of the way that their offense is run and in the way that it rolls with that timing, right? So if they cannot get in sync, they can't get in time between the receivers and the linemen and the tight ends and the quarterback, et cetera. I mean, who knows? So that's why I'm staying away from it. Otherwise, I would love to play Maryland in this spot, but I have no idea which team is going to show up here. So if you do play it, best of luck.
But, yeah, I mean, with Indiana's offense and Maryland's defense being as bad as it is, 14 points seems like a lot, 13 points seems like a lot, but hell, it's 2 touchdowns. They could give up 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes. I mean, it's not hard to do when you're playing a defense. It's this bad. So,
yes, I do like that team total for Indiana over 38.
That's a lot of points, but I do too.
It's a lot, but I do like it. I do like it. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the biggest G5 game of the day. That would be Kent State and Buffalo. It's 195, 196, and this one should be a lot of fun. Opened at Buffalo -9. It jumped up to like 10 at some spots, and then it jumped all the way back down. It's a CBS Sports Network game. It is currently Buffalo -7. Still a lot of people loving what Sean Lewis is doing with Kent State. Total is 69 now. It opened at 65.5. I did a lot of deep diving into this game.
Okay.
I really like Buffalo to cover the 7. I do think it will be high scoring. I don't know if anybody slows down Kent State a ton, but I do think that Buffalo will slow them down enough. That is the one unit on the field where there is a clear advantage for one team over the other.
Yep.
And that is Buffalo's defense will be able to slow down Kent State. They'll at least be able to get stops. I don't know that Kent State's defense can even get stops against Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo won't punt.
Yeah, I think you're right. So I'm taking
at no point in time can they not just line up, and I mean, it could be 3rd and 10, and they just run the football and get 12 yards. I mean, that's just their offensive line and their running back is just that much better than everybody else.
Yes. I mean, you're exactly right. Vitalis said, I'm hearing Buffalo under 69. I know you like the over team total, Gary, but I'm hearing in the locker rooms under. Look, I'm not going to touch the overall total because all I have to do is get Buffalo to win by 8 and I cover. But I've got Buffalo's team total over 37 from Tuesday, and it's at 38 today. I think they score in the 40s. I don't know what Kent State will. I don't know what this Buffalo defense is capable of. So
you got a little bit of a revenge factor too here. That's what I kind of like Buffalo as well for the same thing. Is this is the team that beat them last year, and you know they're coming for blood, and that doesn't mean just scoring and outscoring them. That also means trying to show Kent State you can't score on us the way you score on everybody else. Can they do it? Wanting to do it is one thing. Being pissed off about last year is one thing. Being capable of doing it is a totally different thing.
You are correct on that. All right, let's move into the afternoon slate, and we got to pick things up. I'm sorry.
Let's roll. Go.
Pitt and Clemson, 167, 168. I'll go ahead and explain my reasoning for liking Pitt here, okay? Clemson seems to be hey, let me give the rest of the details. 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's on ABC now. It's no longer on ESPN. It's been moved over. Clemson is now a 23.5-point favorite. They opened at 26. The total was at 65. It is down to 58. It's dropped a whole touchdown. Trevor Lawrence has not played in 5 weeks. He has not been out there doing like he's obviously practiced in the last couple of weeks, but he hasn't been in game action in 5 weeks. I don't know what kind of rust that will be for him. Who knows? But it seems like Clemson is more concerned with things other than Pittsburgh this week. Kenny Pickett has been absolutely on fire, and I still don't know if I can trust that Clemson defense. I think Pitt will be able to put up points. I think Clemson ultimately wins the game. I don't think this is a 2016 situation. I do like Pittsburgh to be able to keep it within 23.5, 24, whatever it is. I loved it at 26. I loved it at 24. 23.5 gets a little squirrely. I think this is about a, 17, 18-point ball game. I think Pitt can keep this thing close because they can do what Notre Dame did in shutting down Travis Etienne. And when that happens, it all falls on the quarterback. You get a couple of picks. You get something going the other direction, and then that changes the ball game completely. I like Pitt in this spot. Chris, how do you feel about it?
So, same thing. There's a world in which it's scary betting against these big boys, but, sometimes you got to pick your spot and you got to do it. I would do it here as well. I think Pitt's offense is good enough, and they're going to try to slow this. I don't think they can stop Clemson, but I think they can slow them down. And if you keep this within 3 scores, you're good.
Yes, you are correct. The Iron Bowl. Goodness gracious sakes alive in the morning. Big ball game. It's Auburn hate week, all that good stuff. You know me. 229, 230 rotation numbers. Alabama opened a 23.5-point favorite. It's 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on CBS. It is now Alabama minus 24.5, total of 63.5. That's gone up 3 points for the total. Auburn's running back, Tank Bigsby, out for this game. 2 offensive linemen, 2 really good offensive linemen. One of them is their best O-lineman, the center and whatnot. They are out for this game. That is concerning. That's not a good thing. I think, first off, I'll go on and give you this one. I think Auburn's team total over 20 hits. It doesn't make sense for me to be thinking team totals for Auburn here with their running back out and with 2 offensive linemen out, especially the guys that predicate that running game. However, Gus Malzahn is a freaking offensive genius, and he always has something up his sleeve for this Alabama game. If you think Auburn is not going to score 21 points in this game, that just doesn't make sense to me at all. However, I do think Alabama, without Nick Saban, because he's out for COVID and whatnot, and I know this is sacrilege, I think Alabama might be a little more they might be better suited to face Auburn without Saban actually on the sideline. Like game preparation, all that kind of stuff, yes. Saban being out there helps a ton, all that. But actually during the game, Gus Malzahn seems to have something working in Nick Saban's mind, whatever it is. It's some kind of Jedi mind trick. And Saban doesn't coach the same in this game as he does in all the other excuse me, all the other games, whatever. I can't talk this morning, Chris.
You shouldn't talk because that's the single dumbest thing you've ever seen in your life.
That is impossible. That is impossible.
No. I've heard you. I've known you since the second grade. I've heard you say a lot of dumb things. That's the single dumbest thing you've ever said in your life.
Explain to me why that's dumb.
But you have one of the greatest coaches in college football history, and you think that you're better without him than with him. That's the most ignorant thing I've ever said.
No.
I don't care.
I did not say that we are better without him.
Yes, you did. Without him on the sidelines, you're better. That's stupid.
In this spot. And I preface.
Okay, in this spot, that's fine. That's still dumb, Gary. That's fine. You're allowed to be dumb. We all hear it. We all heard it. And now everybody's dumber for hearing it. Ignore that. Strike that from your brain. This is the court of law here. And you have to act as if you're a jury and you didn't hear him say that because that's ignorant.
I think that Alabama will cover this ball game. I think they will win this game. However, I do also think that Auburn will be able to score 21 points. So I do kind of like the over 63 here, or 63 and a half. You got a feel on it?
Yeah, I like Auburn in the points. Right now you can get 24 and a half.
Yep.
And I would take all those points.
He jumps in. Chris, watch your blood pressure. Gary,
I'm not. Listen, that didn't get me upset by any stretch of the imagination. That's just, I can't help my friend being a moron.
Hey,
that's just part of life.
We'll see what today brings. But just
listen, whether they win and cover doesn't justify what you just said. They've won and covered against Auburn a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
Auburn's beaten Nick, 3 times Gus has beaten him in his life? And all of a sudden now you think that Gus has his number?
2 of the last 3, yeah, absolutely.
No. You can't just take the 2 of the last 3. How many times has he coached against him? How many times has he won?
He is 3-5.
Okay, so he's won 3 times against the man.
Yes.
That doesn't mean he's got his number. It just means he's won 3. That's a huge rivalry game. A lot of people coaching that game could have won that game.
Okay.
I just think that's asinine to think.
Maybe
moving on.
Maybe I'm wrong. All right, moving into some G5 talk, and we got a good one on Fox this afternoon. San Jose State and Boise State, 2-11, 2-12. Boise State opened an 11.5-point favorite. They are still sitting as an 11.5-point favorite pretty much across the board. Total of 58.5 has moved down to 58. I do like San Jose State in this spot. I don't think they're getting enough respect for what they've done so far this season. Their offense and defense both look absolutely just fantastic. They are so good. And Brett Brennan is one hell of a coach. Boise State is always going to be Boise State. So there's obviously the chance that they can end up covering this even without looking all that great. But I do think San Jose State keeps this within, a touchdown, 10 points, somewhere around there. I love the Spartans here. You got a feel on it?
Yeah, I mean, I like Boise. I think Boise's different at home. I also think Boise's a little bit, they haven't played great in a couple of weeks. And I think at some point in time, they want to kick somebody's butt, and they want to kick somebody's butt who's good. So
this will be the spot. San Jose State is currently undefeated. They are 4-0 against the spread so far this season. Moving on, we got the Egg Bowl, baby. Let's talk about Mike Leach. Let's talk about Lane Kiffin. 241, 242 rotation numbers. Ole Miss opened an 11.5-point favorite with a total of 65.5. They are now down to a 9.5-point favorite with a total of 69.5. They are expecting points in droves down in the Grove. Look, 4 p.m. Eastern time on SEC Network. I don't know who's going to show up today. I got no idea. I know this is going to be a hell of a lot of fun to watch, though. I know you got a feel on it. What do you got?
Yeah, I like Ole Miss. I'm sorry. I know you were done. I like Ole Miss. I like Lane. I think this offense is going to show up. I think last week we saw the best Mississippi State team we've seen since week 1. And they could not stop the deep ball. And there's nothing Lane likes to do better than going deep. Take the top off the defense. He is going to be running and jumping and going crazy on that sidelines because guys are going to be wide open. Mississippi State's front is pretty good. Their secondary is not, and that's where you got a problem with Ole Miss. Is your secondary's got to be good, and they can't stop them.
They're discussing. I think it's 43 scholarship players that will be available for Mississippi State.
So last week it was 49 against Georgia.
Yeah,
so
it dropped
even more.
Yeah, it dropped a little more. We had Heath jumped in. He said these teams do not like each other. here's the difference between the coaching matchups over the last however many years.
Yep.
Yes, it had gotten very violent and like nasty and just hate-filled and whatnot. And now you got two head coaches that seem to like each other, that kind of play off each other.
They poke fun at each other. They have a friendly relationship. I'll tell you, we live in this state. That's what this rivalry needed. This rivalry had gotten so bad. I mean, it was Texas A&M to the point of these teams don't need to play each other anymore. We need to find a way to split them up because it's not healthy. And that is a lot of Dan and Hugh, by the way. You have two of the most unlikable, biggest jerks on the planet running these programs. And now you have two of the most likable guys running these programs that both happen to be friends and friendly with one another. So I think that's going to take this down. I don't know that that's going to have anything to do with the outcome of this game. I think the outcome of this game is one team is barely playing with any scholarship players. They went to Athens and they fought like hell last week, but I don't know that they can give that effort 2 weeks in a row. I just don't. It's talent. It's just all about talent. I think Ole Miss has got it, and I think State don't right now. It's going to take a little bit for State to get there.
That makes sense. You see Gary T jumps in. He said, kind of like Gary and Chris, talking about all that hate.
No, we don't have hate. We don't have hate. I just said he said something dumb. He said something dumb. I called him out on it.
It is true. It is true. I don't think it's that dumb, but either way, it's all good. Let's move on. Let's talk about San Diego State and Colorado. And this one just popped up on Thursday. Colorado USC got canceled. Colorado calls up San Diego State. San Diego State's game got canceled against Fresno State. They both wanted a game. The Pac-12 is letting them do it. Why the hell not, right? Colorado -3 was the opening line with a total of 52.5. It is still sitting at -3 with a total of 51 now. So that has gone down. Both of these teams, I don't know what to make of this at all. Like they haven't been able to game plan for each other. I have no clue in this spot. I do kind of like Colorado a little bit here. I think they're not much more talented. And yeah, that 3-3-5 defense for San Diego State will be tough to figure out, but I think Colorado's got some playmakers that San Diego State does not. And you got any idea?
No, we just found out about this game. So I have no idea. I would think that, I like San Diego State a lot. I do. I think their defense is good, and I think they're a well-coached football team. Colorado has proven to be a lot more fun and better than we thought they were going to be. And so that leads to a situation where,
we may just sit back and watch.
I'm definitely sitting back and watching this. I'm not getting in on this. I am interested in it. I'm going to watch it. Somebody just said the Boise State game just got canceled. I was trying to go to Twitter while you were talking, and then you called on me to try to get that info.
I have not seen anything just yet, but maybe so.
Anyway,
maybe so. Either way, if you can find that, go ahead. I will. I'll move us on to the Saturday evening slate, and I will start off with the information for your game this evening. 2:35, 2:36. LSU heads over to Texas A&M. Texas A&M opened a 14-point favorite with a total of 64. The total has dropped from 64 down to 61. A&M is now out to a 15.5-point favorite. This is 7 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. And the 15.5 points seems a little ridiculous. I know A&M has looked good, but they hadn't played in 4 weeks.
This will be 4 weeks since they've played football. A&M might win this game, and A&M might cover. Okay, they might kick the crap out of LSU. 15.5 points is just insulting. It's just a bad line. Okay, you say what you want, you do what you want. That's fine. A&M could easily win this game and could easily cover. I just think that's insulting.
No, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect.
I think it's too many points. Their defense isn't that great, okay? And LSU's offense has proven to be pretty good. And to be able to give up 3 scores and to beat somebody by 3 scores means you don't think they have the capability of backdooring you. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, you're right. You are right.
You could dominate the football game and still not beat somebody by 15.5 points.
Yeah, Brett McMurphy did tweet out the thing.
Yeah, I saw it. Brett McMurphy, and then Jay Will said Brett McMurphy. As soon as he said Brett McMurphy, I went and looked him up. So yeah.
It's Jay Will said literally just told no, you're right. You're right. I just looking to confirm. Yeah, that sucks. Oklahoma State's going to be without Chuba Hubbard, it looks like today, and their right tackle against Texas Tech. So, boy, what a weird year. What a weird year. I do like LSU in this spot, especially getting more
than
than
2 points. It's just too many points. That's all. It's just the ultimate equalizer is the point spread.
We haven't even talked about the fact that Alabama LSU is next week. So
I don't want to talk about that,
today, but we'll talk about it on Sunday. 297, 298 would be Utah and Washington. This game did not exist when we did our Tuesday pick show. And then by Thanksgiving evening, it had already been moved up to the ABC primetime game because of all the different cancellations and the moving around of the schedule and all that kind of stuff. It opened at 7 and it's still sitting at 7. Washington -7. Total of 47.5. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. I kind of like Utah in a bounce back spot here. Whittingham has always been able to play well against Jimmy Lake's defenses. I think that Utah shows up in this spot, especially after getting housed by USC last week. I don't think I'm going to play. I guess it depends on what the day looks like. I might sprinkle it, but I kind of like Utah to be able to keep it within a touchdown here.
I don't think Utah's good. I just don't. They got housed because they're not good.
They're
inexperienced at every level of the game, and that is just proven to not be good.
I was going to the last game that we were going to hit was Virginia Florida State, but
that's been canceled.
That one has been canceled as well. So
nope, that's good. We can take questions, or we can do whatever you want.
Do you have any favorite bets for the morning?
No, I mean you brought up that oh god, the quarterback for Boston College is back. I do like I do like BC -1 with him playing. So I would take that. We have one question. Somebody asked Syracuse NC State. What do you think of that?
Syracuse NC State. What is that? 17.5 now.
It's a big number.
It feels like it's too many points. Like I just. But at the same time, like Syracuse is so awful, man. I don't know what their injury situation is. They've had a lot of guys out here recently. NC State and Syracuse is 17-ish. Total around 50. Man, I ain't touching that game. I can't do it. I don't. Cuse is awful. Like you know what I might do? I might do the under 17 team total for Syracuse.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to play that right now.
Yeah. So somebody also asked, they had a 2-team teaser with somebody in Boise State. Who can they replace their teaser with? I know we're biased because we already have these games. We like these games. I mean, I like LSU. If you can get LSU 15.5 plus your 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever you tease it to, now you're making it a 3-touchdown game. I think that's just way too much. I would love Memphis if you were to throw them in a teaser. So those would be 2 of mine that I would look at.
Rob Greer said thoughts on the Coastal Carolina. I've seen a lot of other guys asking about the Coastal game.
Yeah, Coastal. Everybody likes Coastal.
Everybody loves Coastal. It's up to 17,
big
7.5
number
at some spots. Texas State is fun. They're plucky. They're a good underdog. Like Jake Spavital has that thing going, but it's not quite there yet.
93% of the bets are still on Coastal as well. My issue is that at some point in time, the books aren't just going to keep getting destroyed by this team.
Well, so on top of that, like that was an incredibly emotional win last week. And
I think so. And they had to fight like hell. They were down that whole game.
Do you think that they're fired up about being ranked 20th?
Oh, yeah. There's some. All right. Now there you go. You're looking for motivation in these games where you should kick the shit out of somebody. Where can you find it? And yeah, I mean, that's a motivating factor is, hey man, these teams still don't think we're good. Yeah. They understand we live in a world where there are teams that belong and there are teams that don't. And if you don't belong, it is made abundantly clear. We don't think you belong. And the college football committee and the people that run college football don't think they belong.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
They wouldn't be a bad one to put in a teaser. Now you can drop that down a little bit.
The Texas State team total is 20. I ain't touching that. Never mind.
Nope. I'm not messing. I'm out on that game completely because I fully believe there's a world with Deshaun's just beat the hell out of them.
Yeah.
To make a point, to make a statement, we belong here. And then there's also a world in which they just want to keep winning and advancing. Don't mess up. Don't get beat. Don't get got. And also the house just isn't going to keep taking a bath on these teams. We just know that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's a math problem.
Let me give out my favorite bets for the morning. I hadn't gone through them yet. Buffalo -7 against Kent State. Boston College -1 against Louisville. Auburn's team total over 20. Texas Tech team total under 23 against Oklahoma State. And Indiana's team total over 38 against Maryland. I think they're going to put up a ton of points this week. Michael Penix has it rolling right now, man. Absolutely rolling. All right, let's see.
Somebody asked about SMU today. I love SMU to win the game. I love them to win the game. I'm trying to find the most recent line. Where are they at on my sheet?
They are -11, -11.5.
Yeah, we've seen Eastern Carolina put up points, and that's the only thing that scares me a little bit about the cover and the spread. But I think they'll win.
I do think that they will win. So SMU's team total around 41.5. East Carolina team total is around 30.
Yeah. Those both seem pretty close to right. Maybe can SMU play defense? Can SMU hold this team, the East Carolina down?
I
mean,
not.
It's tough. It's tough. I think these numbers are right on. I think the team totals are right on. I think the total's right on, and I think the spread's right on, which is why I'm staying away from it. I love SMU money line. If you're looking for a money line parlay or something, they're a team that you're not laying a ton of juice to play, but you get a team that I think is going to clearly win the game.
Let's see. We've got Kenny Dorsey said Pittsburgh team total.
That's not their first half team total. That's just the team total, 14.5.
That's what it was on Tuesday. It's up to 17.5 now, but it's 17.5 for the game. So,
oh Jesus,
yeah.
Okay, I thought that was a half game. I thought that was a half line.
Nope. That is it. So yeah, Kenny, if you can find 14.5, yeah, absolutely. But it's 17.5 pretty much.
Yeah, that's juicy.
Now.
That's juicy. Somebody's asking about Cincinnati, or so we're now starting to get into the big boy favorites.
Didn't Cincy get canceled? I thought it got canceled.
Yeah, it's postponed.
Yep. All right. So
canceled, whatever.
Kansas State, Baylor. You got a feel on that one?
Oh man,
perfect spot to bet Kansas State, isn't it?
It is, yes. After a drumming like last week, everybody's off your bus. Baylor's getting better. Baylor's improving. Kansas State's going backwards. I don't know. You can do whatever you want with it. If you like Kansas State, like them. Don't not like them because I told you to. I'm biased. I love Aranda and I want Baylor to be good. So I'm not playing that game.
Nevada, Hawaii is the late game. That is 11 p.m. Eastern time. From what
what's that number at now?
7.5, 7.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you can get,
I would take Hawaii in the plus.
Yeah, especially with that hook.
Yeah, I get the home team on the island. I like that.
Yeah, I could get down with that. Nevada's looked really good here. I mean, they're undefeated. You know, they look good. Jay Norvell has got that team rolling, but yeah, you know, I could get down with Hawaii plus the points at home. Like, why not? Not? That's your late night. Like, man, let's just toss a couple dollars on it. Like,
how we're doing on the night and how we're feeling, how many pops we've had, and you know.
Yep. Casey said Nevada beats Hawaii. Nevada beats Hawaii down.
We're going to disagree there. I don't like going against the boys on the island. I did it last week. It wasn't fun.
Nikki Blackburn said fire him, and he's talking about the Clapper Jr., and that's talking about your boy Aranda.
Come on now. You can't fire him. He's a first-year head coach. He's never been a head coach in his life. He's a first-year head coach right now, taking over a team that lost a ton in a weird-ass COVID year. God, you can't fire him.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't fire him after 1 year.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the difference between him and the Clapper, okay? The Clapper did nothing to improve his team. He was a CEO head coach in the NFL. Why is that a problem? Because in the NFL, you don't recruit. Okay, you can have CEO head coaches in college that all they do is recruit and oversee the other coaches, but their responsibility is to also get talent in. Aranda is the best defensive-minded head coach in all of college football, not named Nick Saban. Okay, that's just the truth. All right, he's a top 3 defensive mind. I would say it's Nick, it's Venables, it's Dave. All right, that's the list of defensive brains in college football. So while he has not proven to be a great head coach this year so far, he can always take that defensive side and figure out a way to scheme up and help them, and that matters.
Yeah. Okay.
The Clapper could not walk over to the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball and help them be better at anything.
We just had somebody jump in and said they canceled Clemson and Pitt. And then we had somebody else say Clemson's canceled. Jay Will, where did you get Pitt Clemson's canceled?
Please be because Clemson has COVID. Please be because Clemson has COVID.
I don't see anything from Brett McMurphy. I don't see anything from Ross Dellinger. I don't see anything from anybody.
I'm just looking up Clemson Pitt. Nope. It's not on Twitter yet. So
what about Bruce Feldman? He should.
It's not on Twitter at all. If you just search Clemson Pitt, that would be the first thing they would hashtag and put together.
Yeah, that's strange.
Hey, let's talk about this. This is local to us.
See, this is why we have to check this crap. Like,
yep.
I swear to God.
You guys are a bunch of damn liars. Hey, let's talk about this for 2 minutes and then we'll get out of here. How about the SEC, the progressive, changing SEC, Vanderbilt, maybe starting the first female D1 football player.
Yeah. Sarah Fuller
she looks great in the uniform. She is more athletic than every SEC kicker or punter in the SEC right now.
Yeah, and what he means by she looks great in the uniform is not like the typical.
No, I'm not sexualizing it. This chick is legit, man. She's 6'2". She's got thighs that look like Herschel Walker's. I mean, I don't know how accurate it is, but her ability to kick the football and look good. If you took somebody from India that has never watched, they've just played cricket their entire life, they've never watched football before, and you took every kicker in all of college football right now, kicker and punter, put them in the uniform, let her be in the middle of it, and have them just start picking kickers based on the way they look athletic-wise, I bet she goes in the top 10. You're talking about a couple of hundred kickers, because kickers are not an athletic-looking group. And she looks like a damn athlete because she is an athlete.
Let's see. Nikki said, "Did you watch her warm up? Kicks look bad." Hey, the stuff.
No. The accuracy is always that's the problem with kicking is can you make it? Because a lot of these guys can kick it far, but man, she looks the part.
Yep, she's
the ball absolutely explodes off her foot.
Let's see. I need a lock for 12. Toronto in the house. Buffalo -7. That'll be
if I had to give you, if you wanted my stone cold lock for the morning picks, it would be Buffalo's who I feel best about. I just think there's a revenge factor there. I think they're going to at least win by 2 scores. They're not. Here's the thing: if they don't cover, there's a chance they don't win the game.
Let's see. JT Daniels a fluke or outstanding game? No, he's not a fluke. He's actually he's a pretty good quarterback. And I think he gets better as the season goes on. But either way,
we'll disagree.
What else? What else have we got?
Nothing. We got 10 minutes till. Let's go.
Yeah. Memphis Navy over 62. Do we like that one?
Nope. Not touching it. There's a world in which Memphis' defense tries to clam up that Navy offense.
Makes sense.
I like Memphis. I like Memphis to kick their butt.
I think that works for today. You ready to get out of here?
Yep. Let's go.
Let's do this thing. SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. Go over. You can deep dive everything. You can search the best odds, the best lines over there. There's a little thing up at the top that says odds. Go search and shop for the best lines, of course. Make sure you like this video, that you are subscribed to the channel, and that you leave some comments with your favorite picks for the day. We want to know what you guys are taking, if it's different from what we're taking, etc. All that good stuff. SBRpicks.com/pick6. That's PICK and the number 6. You can win your share of cash prizes every week. It's free to enter, NFL and college picks, whatever. And again, we didn't get to all the games, but you can hit us up on Twitter all day long. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And for sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you again on Monday.